vicious woman can safely be called a bitch. The layer of knowingness in this case was an appeal to cranky ill will and prejudice. Gillette's joke was snark. A question I found as a comment on a right-wing blog, "Is Obama a fat-lipped nigger, or what?" is simple racist junk. But a student named Adam LaDuca, formerly president of the Pennsylvania Federation of College Republicans, wrote on his Facebook page that Obama was nothing more than a dumbass with a pair of lips so large he could float half of Cuba to the shores of Miami, and probably would. That remark, in its excruciating humor and its layer of knowing reference, is tin-plated snark, and also racist junk. Snark is not the same as hate speech, which is abuse directed at groups. Hate speech slashes and burns and hopes to incite, but without much attempt at humor. Some legal scholars, most notably Jeremy Waldron of New York University, have argued that the United States, a tumultuous, multi-ethnic country with many vulnerable minorities, should consider banning hate speech by law, as some countries in Europe have done. But that is not my concern here. The legal issues lie far beyond the range of this essay, and, in any case, I am against censorship in any form, on the usual ground that it will choke legitimate critical speech as well as vicious rant. I will hunt the snark, but leave hate speech alone. I will also ignore the legions of anguished, lost people on websites and the social networking site Facebook who are convinced that, say, Barack Obama is the Antichrist. Barack was the name of Muhammad's horse, and who fly about wildly like bats trapped in a country living room, looking for a way to release fear. Madness and paranoia are not the same as snark. Nor am I talking about the elaborately sadistic young sports known on the internet as trolls. These are technically enabled young men, part hackers, part stalkers, who pull such pranks as teasing the parents of a child who has committed suicide, or sending flashing lights onto a website for epileptics. The lights may cause seizures. Fun. The trolls have a merry time screwing people up. What they do violates existing statutes. See Mattathias Schwartz's report in the New York Times of August 3, 2008 for the details. And if federal and state authorities had the energy and resources to pursue them, the trolls could probably be prosecuted for harassment. So far, they have gone largely unpunished, but I leave them to the cops and prosecutors. Finally, I will bypass the issue of political correctness, which, rightly or wrongly, is a way of protecting groups against calumny and lesser slights. Political correctness actually shares one leading characteristic with snark. It refuses true political engagement, the job of getting at the truth of things. All too often, PC tries to rein in humor that might brush against a truth. What I'm doing here, hunting the snark, is a way of preserving humor. Those of us who are against snark want to humble the lame, the snide, and the lazy, and promote the true wits. Snark attacks individuals, not groups, though it may appeal to a group mentality, depositing a little bit more toxin into already poisoned waters. Snark is teasing, rug-pulling insult that attempts to steal someone's mojo, erase her cool, annihilate her effectiveness, and it appeals to a knowing audience that shares the contempt of the snarker and therefore understands whatever references he makes. It's all jeer and josh, a form of bullying that, except at its highest levels, beggars the soul of humor. In the 2000 presidential campaign, Maureen Dowd of the New York Times had Al Gore so feminized and diversified and ecologically correct he's practically lactating in one column, and buffing his pecs and ridging his abs in another column. Which was it, effeminate or macho? Snark will get you any way it can, fore and aft, and to hell with consistency. In a media society, snark is an easy way of seeming smart. When Harvard professor Samantha Power resigned from Obama's campaign on March 7, 2008, after calling Hillary Clinton